I want to add my man, Young Guru. King,
My brother,
how are you, sir?
I'm great, man. I'm great. How are you?
Man, I'm all things considered, I'm great as well, man. I can't complain. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna start right into it, man. First of all, thank you for taking your time out, man. You know what I mean?
Anything you need, King, anything.
Yeah, and you know, anytime we run into each other, it's always the energy's always just been great.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. Like I think as much as you doing this and as much as I love this discussion about like things that men don't always talk about, like I think men don't always give each other like their flowers or their kudos. You know what I mean? Even if men don't want to say flowers, right? If that's a term,
Right.
say, giving brothers they kudos, but it's something where we don't always get in depth because it's like me and you, we connect all the time, and it's like, but at you know, behind stage at a Root show, we might not be able to get into as much as we want to get into. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why this is a beautiful thing, man. I'm just proud of you, bro.
Thank you, man. And again, like you said, like we connect in random places. Like it don't even be about no industry at a Marshall Montano,
Right,
Caribbean joint or
right.
you know, I think one time I may have seen you at a mall or something. Like we just kind of randomly ran into each other somewhere, and it was love, you know. And I think we could change the flowers thing between men. Let's say I'm giving you your crown. I'm gonna give you your crown.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. Uh, so for me, like what stood out for me about you, right? This is your personality, is knowing, you know, knowing you've worked with Jay and all these different people as an engineer and getting that sound right. And some of the most classic albums that we know, you've been behind the boards.
Right.
But having that resume and having those accolades and all of that, you've never acted that way. You've never acted like a man who was bigger than the next man. And
Yeah.
every time I see you, your stature is very peaceful, is very strong, but it's peaceful and it's humble.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think that comes from one, good parenting. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. People still trying to call me, bro. My bad.
I get it.
I think number one, that comes from good parenting. Just for me having that situation of having my father being like the strongest person in my life, my mother, you know, being a educator and a teacher, but also an educator and a teacher in our neighborhood. So it's like seeing people from other different walks of life, but really appreciating the fact that I had a strong upbringing and a strong family. But then also just my dudes like around me, we don't play that like, you know, celebrity game. We don't do that. You know what I mean? Like that thing don't affect me. That thing of like, oh, I did this, so I'm somebody, you know, doesn't come into my cipher. Like when I come into the studio, it's really about what we're gonna make for that given day. And as much as I respect careers, I don't accept the like I'm somebody, so you got to treat me this certain way thing. Like everybody, I approach them on the same level, whether or not that's like you make hit records or whether or not that's you pick up trash every day. You know what I mean? Everybody should be respected as a man and as a woman in who they are as a human being, and not based off of what they do. I don't approach you with, well, hello, what do you do? I want to know who you are, you know, sort of thing. So that's where that comes from. And it also comes from the thing of like, I don't know, for me, man, like growing up the way I grew up, we just didn't tolerate that sort of thing around us. That's just what it is. We didn't tolerate that sort of thing like you're supposed to treat me a certain way. And as I move throughout the country and the world because of DJing and because of hip hop music and because of the respect that I come with, I found that that's the best way to move about, because I would go into situations where I'm moving into a different state, right? And like, let's say I'm the DJ of the night, what they call celebrity DJ, whatever. And I've been in situations where I walk into the VIP and it's like that dude of that city, no matter where it is. I don't care if it's Sandusky, Ohio.
It don't matter because they all relevant in every city.
That dude feels like he's the dude of Sandusky, Ohio, right?
Yeah.
So you can easily walk into the VIP and be like, yo, kick everybody out of here. What is these dudes doing in my space? Da, da, da. Or you could go, yo, what's your name, fam? Good to meet you. Bring them an extra bottle. Now, that dude, that's the dude in Sandusky, Ohio, is like, yo, Goose showed me so much love that night, boom, boom, boom. And you just secured your place there. Versus, it's like the energy that you bring is the energy that you get back. It's the same way that I would ask somebody if they came to North New Jersey to come with a certain amount of respect. If you come with respect, North New Jersey will love you forever. If you come with disrespect, they will literally strip you off the stage. I seen rappers get their jewelry like taken off a stage in North New Jersey because they came with the wrong energy.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just moving and understanding like you're not the center of the universe. You understand what I'm saying? It's a blessing that people could even listen to music that I've been a part of, and like all of those things to me is just a beautiful thing. So I don't come with that energy of I'm the shit. I just come with the energy of like, thank you, I'm humbled, I appreciate it. And most of the time, I got my camera out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like trying to take pictures of different places. But when you in Bogota, if you come with that energy, that could mean your life.
Right.
If you in Bogota with your camera out as a 6'5" black man and you like coming with humility, then people are more apt to let you take a picture and experience their lifestyle. So you got to realize that that's not just me in the United States. That's me across the world. When I come to different cultures that may not be my culture, I respect the culture. When I go to a Muslim country and it's like, yo, these are the rules, I follow the rules. When I go to a European country and it's like, these are the rules, I follow the rules. That's my, because I want you to come into my space that way.
Right. I mean, it just sounds like wisdom to me. Like you figured it out. There's a lot of people that don't have it figured out. And, you know, one minute you see them and they know you and it's cool. Next minute you see them, they got on shades at night. You know what I mean? It's that whole... Right. And I've never been about that either, which is why I connected with you every time I saw you. I was like, man, that dude is different. How are you feeling right now as an individual, as a human being, as a man? And then how are you feeling from a society standpoint?
I mean, that's a real question. So right now I'm in a confused state, and I'm, you know, this is beautiful that me and you are having this conversation, because I'm in this state right now where like I feel the pain. I feel the pain of my people. I feel the pain of the country. I feel the pain of the confusion of those of us that have been in this struggle for so long. And to see the same things happen over and over and over again, it gets you to a point where somebody posted something early. I think Ebro had posted something where he was like, yo, don't get tired. And I was like, Ebro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired, man. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of having the same conversations. I'm tired of like the same results. I'm tired of these things happening over and over again. I'm tired of the same tactics. I'm tired of like having to keep resorting into my OGs to really give me wisdom as to where to move right now. So it's like me and my personal, I'm just like trying to figure out. The biggest thing is I had that conversation with my son today, right? I got 4 kids. I'm 46 years old. I had my first daughter when I was 22 years old, right? My oldest daughter, we have conversation all the time. My second daughter, we have conversation all the time. But I got 2 twins that are 16, about to be 17.
Yeah.
And it's a boy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that conversation with my son for the first time where I'm like, look, man, we got to have this rap. And what this really is about is me telling you, as much as this pains me to tell you this, as much as you may be in the right, as much as you may know the law, as much as I've trained you to like be who you are, when that officer comes up to you, do whatever he says, get locked up. That's what I'm telling my son. Because I would rather come to the precinct to come get you out than to plan your funeral. And that's a hard thing to do as a black man raising another black boy in America. It's super hard to do. But I'm like, your life is not worth his arrogance. So let me go argue with him later on and get you out, but versus like me having to plan your funeral. And I can't fathom what that feels like for certain families to be like, I got to plan a funeral now on top of all of it, over things that aren't even in our law presented as something that's punishable by the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like, we got people that got the death penalty for trying to sell a Lucy. A Lucy. To break down a pack of cigarettes and say, I'm gonna sell this one for 50 cents and a dollar. Okay, whatever. Something that every corner store in New York City does, as long as they know who you are, right? We know this. For running in a neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care what the violation is. You could steal a car. You can steal a car. Let's say you steal a car. Okay, great. You catch me. I stole a car. I'm 17 years old. I was on a joyride, whatever. Lock me up for however long. It's not the death penalty for that.
Right.
Even in states where you go as far as murder, if the state doesn't have the death penalty, we lock that person up for 30 years. We don't give them an automatic, no judge, no jury, no nothing. You die right now. So it's not to get deep, but it's just to be like, yo, that's where my mind is at right now, because I've been of those tribes. I've been raised by those men. I was lucky enough to be of a family that had a mother and a father and I realized how special my household was. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
Where I got pictures of Malcolm X on my wall. My mother is putting those up. I got pictures of Paul Robeson on my wall. My mother is putting those up. The biggest photo or the biggest painting in my mother's house is a Moor. She's trying to send messages to us as kids to understand what this is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the household I'm raised in. I realize how lucky I am to be raised in that sort of thing. So my mother was also a special ed teacher. So the angst and the real of what was going on in my neighborhood also infiltrated my household, because my mother would come home crying at certain points where she would be like, yo, I had to go in the bathroom and clean this little girl because her father is touching her. I had to go take care of this boy because his mother's a crackhead. I had to go, boom. All of this is touching my household. So I understand at an early age what's going on in our community. Even though I'm from a household where my mother and my father are raising me in a certain vein to be black. But I also got to be a black man that tells his son right now out of security, yo, if these cops come fuck with you, just let them lock you up. It ain't nothing to put the handcuffs on, go into jail for a day, and I'm going to come get you out. And that's wrong.
Right.
But I'm more worried about his survival than I am about him being right at this point.
As you were first saying that, you may have seen a blank look on my face. I got emotional as you were talking. Like, the fact that you have to talk to your son about that is why I'm fucking tired.
Right.
I'm fed the fuck up with this shit. Like, I understand what Ebro's saying. We gotta fight. We gotta fight. Don't get tired. Do not grow weary in well-doing. I get all of that from a biblical standpoint, society, black people, black power, Panthers. I get the shit, right? But who wants to be born into a state of war, constant war? Who chooses that life? We might be the strongest people, united, all of that shit. We all could arm ourselves and we could be ready for this war. And at this point, they've already waged it, right?
Right.
So that may be the only solution. But my point is, I'm fucking tired, Goop.
Yeah, and I need the energy of the youth right now, because I'm getting to this point where, like, one of my OGs, and this is great that we having this conversation so that me and you learn more about me, I learn more about you, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that people may not know is I went to Howard University in 1992, right? My roommate in 1993 was Amiri Baraka's son, right? So Amiri Baraka Jr., who is now second in command of my city, North, right? His first son, Raz Baraka, is now my mayor, right? In North. But I'm saying all this to say of, like, the type of people that I was raised around, the type of information that I got early put us into a certain situation where it's almost like what Kendrick was saying, where he said, Malcolm X put a hex on me, right, in the song. And I'm one of those people that understand lyrics and break down lyrics. He's not saying like he put a hex on me. He's saying I know the information now, so I can't act a certain way because they've already hit me to the information.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like after having so many conversations with this man, and one of my main conversations with Mr. Baraka was like, how do you not get burnt out? How do you do this for so many years? Keep talking about our struggle, keep being active, and just like you keep seeing the same thing happen over and over and over again. And I'm to the point now where I'm like, I have youngins looking at me, soldiers is looking at me like as an elder and being like, yo, what's the way to move? And my first instinct and my first response is to stop the real gangsters among us. That's my first instinct, because I'm trying to protect them because of a lesson that I had to learn for myself. You see what I'm saying? This is coming into the psychology of me. And in my older years, I've learned to not just project my opinion, but to ask questions, right? Because when you come with a question, it disarms people.
Yeah.
It takes it away from saying, yo, I'm right, you're wrong, listen to my opinion. You know, I'm listening to everybody's opinion. So I phrase my things in terms of a question, right?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I want you to know that I'm coming in that spirit. I'm asking you, is this right? So it's like, people can philosophize and they could be on whatever level they want to be on in terms of theoretical. I'm talking specifically to my youngins who I know already got the heart, because I've seen them on levels with each other. They not scared to bust their gun. And I'm asking them to be mature men at a certain age. I'm like, yo, it's not about that. I've been trying to get them to stop doing that with each other. But when we have a common enemy, then they like, yo, I'm ready to go, Goo. Just get a work. What we doing? And I gotta have the wisdom to recognize the things that were wrong in my life as a youngin, and also in the philosophy of what I thought about. You understand what I'm saying? So this argument is not a new argument. We have this argument so many times in our history, right? Whether or not that's like Malcolm versus Martin, which is the most famous of it. You know what I mean? But we have Du Bois versus Washington. We have all of these things that are different ways of us moving. You understand what I'm saying? And I used to look at a certain part of Martin Luther King's teachings as weak. Not that I didn't respect the man. I love the man. I respect the man. But I used to look at it to a certain degree as weak, because I was on the Malcolm X side so heavy. And the point that I'm trying to make is that people need to realize that when Martin was talking, he wasn't always talking from a preacher weak standpoint. He was talking from the standpoint of, look, if you're going to take up the gun and you're going to go against this man, you're not really organized yet to really do that. You can't feed yourself. You can't clothe yourself. You can't house yourself. You ain't really got the guns he got. You ain't got the organization that he got. Like, this is what Martin was talking about, because I don't want to see you as my son perish away. Because my mentality, I'm young. I'm all the way over here with Malcolm, where I'm like, yo, I'm willing to give my life so that he could live, so that my son could live in the right. I'm willing to do that. That's a no-brainer for me. I'm willing to run in the burning house for my son.
Right.
But it comes to a point where you gotta let the youth know the revolution ain't about suicide.
Right.
It ain't about that. You know what I mean? I had to go back to my OGs. I found this old YouTube of Mr. Baraka talking about that, where he was like, yo, the revolution ain't about suicide, man. It's about life. It's about you being able to live free. And if you die in that process, then we lose the thing that we're trying to fight for.
That we trying to fight for.
That becomes the biggest thing of trying to sway the get. And I'm not talking about those of us that just talk. I'm talking about me being connected and being like, yo, the gangsters is ready to ride. And those of us that have that connection got to tell them, hold on, chill.
Yeah, there has to be a strategy. There has to be plan. There has to be organization, because like I was looking at the riot yesterday in Minneapolis.
Right.
And my first thought was, I commend them. I don't blame them at all.
Absolutely.
For having the fight that they had and throwing the bricks at the cop car. Nigga, if I would have been there, I'd have been doing the same shit, to be honest with you, right? Because that's how I feel.
Right.
I feel like taking like Radio Raheem or Mookie throwing the goddamn trash can through the window. I feel that,
Yeah.
right?
But you
But as
got to
I'm looking,
understand, a lot of that is cathartic, and you got to really understand what that means. It means that, like, if we're going to get to the bottom of it, that cop car is an agent. It's an agent of the system. It's an agent, meaning that could be anybody. If we go to the, and I'm not going to get super, I'm a super sci-fi dude, and I'm not going to get super sci-fi on them, but that's the Matrix, where it's just like, yo, anybody connected to the system can become an agent. That cop is just an extension of what the law says. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
so,
it's like you attacking a tree at the leaf level when the root is so much you
so
can't even see the root. The root is under the ground
So
of the tree.
it's me being on both sides where I understand the frustration of people, but it's almost like when Wall Street was bugging, and I seen a bunch of people in New York run to the Bull and run to Wall Street, and they was downstairs and they was protesting and all that. And I was like, guess what's going on? At the same time, people is on the 27th floor still doing trades. Still doing trades.
Yeah.
You ain't stopping nothing because you're attacking the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's cathartic, and I understand the nature of why that is necessary. But if you go stop the traffic on the West Side Highway, what they gonna do? They're gonna go over to 9th Avenue. That's not the real way to deal with that situation. So again, this is us not reducing it to being such a simple problem, because I see that as well. People are arguing, well, my solution works and my solution works and my solution works. Well, guess what? We've had a lot of intelligent people come through that have tried to deal with the problem. It's not one easy solution.
No.
It's not one easy solution. But the real addressing of the problem comes from us making certain determinations of how we want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Period and point blank. And dealing with certain realities in this situation of who we are and what our existence in this particular time means. And it means that we need to get certain understandings of these classifications that we have and break down those classifications so that we can all come together as one.
So having that knowledge and feeling tired, like you said, when you saw Ebro's post, you was like, dude, I'm tired. And this is just your opinion. And again, this is a free form. You can say whatever the hell you want.
It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, just in your opinion, right? In an ideal way to resolve it, what do you think is the step to get to that root problem? Even being exhausted right now, but knowing the problem ain't the cops in the street.
Right.
It's the root under the ground that we can't even see.
Right.
That shit is still, attaching itself to the ground, and it's still growing underground. Well, while we looking at the leaves and trying to shake that.
There's a bunch of. I'm glad you asked that question, because that's beautiful. It allowed me to open up into a bunch of things on that particular level. And this is to be very specific, because people talk in these like abstractions all the time. Let's be very specific to the ground level of what we're talking about with police. First of all, for this particular situation, what we are saying, what we are asking as a people is not that, yo, something's going to happen in the hood. Somebody's going to make a mistake. But we are asking for these people to be held accountable for their actions. That is the whole point. The whole point is to be held accountable. Let that law that is in the writing apply to everyone equally. Meaning, do you know how many people that I know personally that are in jail because of one mistake that they made on one day? They made the wrong decision on one particular, they might have been drunk, they might have been whatever, they made the wrong, some dude gets into a fight in a bar, and because somebody did whatever, he punches the dude happens to hit his head against the bar, he gets put in jail for manslaughter. Right? He made a mistake. Right. He's got to pay for that mistake. We're not saying that the cops are human. They're going to make mistakes. What we're asking, though, is that you be accountable for your mistakes. If you commit murder, you must be accountable for that murder. And you must go to jail. The same way that I'm going to go to jail if I'm accountable for murder. Whether or not that's first degree, second degree, or third degree. First degree, being that I planned the shit out. Right? I said, yo, I'm gonna go murder this dude. I go do it. That's first-degree murder. These cops should be accountable for second-degree murder. Second-degree murder. Absolutely second-degree.
100%.
Which means I didn't plan it out. But there's two definitions underneath a second-degree murder, which means that because of the emotional state, got to a point where I killed this person and it was unjustified, that's murder. That's what we asking on a basic bottom level. That every time that happens, that this person goes to jail for whatever the cause is. Because,
yeah, for sure.
Because otherwise, you are taking us and putting us as judge, jury, and executioner on the spot for things that don't even equal to murder or equal to a life sentence. I
mean, what was George Floyd even being arrested for? Wasn't it some minor?
We don't even know what the situation was, but I don't care about no false checks. I don't care about no whatever.
None of that.
Once you have that man in handcuffs, it's over.
It's a wrap.
Period. Put him in the back of the car, arrest him, let his lawyer do whatever it is, give him juke. That's what this country is about.
And
but if we keep going to a point where our people see that what is written in the letter of the law doesn't apply to us, then you can't be upset because of the reaction. You can't be upset because of the reaction, because you keep telling me to abide by a law that doesn't apply to me.
Right. I went on my rant yesterday and I said one of the reasons I'm so frustrated and tired about it is they have the freedom to on the spot look at you and determine you're a criminal and your life is not worth continuing.
Right.
On the spot, on the street, in the handcuffs. They have determined you're a criminal and I can shoot you, I can suffocate you, I can do whatever I need to do that I feel is justified, and I can kill you, right? It happens. It's happened millions of times. And the system they put us through is, oh, well, if you want that police officer or those officers to be brought up on charges, to be arrested for murder, to be punished, you have to call the senator. You have to call them. We got to call numbers. We got to wait. It's all kind of shit. They can decide instantly.
Yes.
That our lives as black men and black women are worthless on the street and have no consequences.
You know why? Also, too, because this code of the blue code is worse than the no snitching code on the street.
Facts.
It's worse.
Facts.
Right? Because like we've seen that where like snitches come home. We have that rule in the street, this unwritten rule of like no snitching or whatever. Right? But we've seen snitches come home and don't nobody touch them. We've seen snitches even come back into hip hop, and we're not even taking it off into that buffoonery right now. We're talking about real things. What I'm doing is explaining that inside of the police, that blue code of no snitching is a death penalty. There's no cop that's coming out and being like, yo, there's 3 other people that are police officers that could have been like, yo, you wilding, you going too far. Yo, chill.
Pull the nigga's knee off my man's neck.
That's me and you in the club where I'm like, yo, fam, you my man and I'm with you, but you going too far.
Too far.
Chill. And then when something happens, there's no accountability. What we really going to see is whether or not the people in that police department testify against that man. Because we have to get past this thing of celebrating, yo, they got arrested. So what?
So what? Who gives a shit?
How many times have people got arrested and got off?
Acquitted.
We haven't seen the convictions.
That's what I'm talking about. We gotta wait for the result. We gotta wait months and months for the result that they get to decide instantly what their result is, what their decision is, right? What their conclusion about us is. Right. We have to wait. Like you said, they got arrested. All right, they're going to trial. They're going to get prosecuted. Are they going to get convicted or acquitted?
Right. That's the real point. What is the repercussions of this? Because the arrest means nothing. Arrest just means I put the handcuffs on you and took you downtown. I don't mean that. I've been arrested and been out the next day.
Yeah, George Zimmerman. He's still alive. He got arrested.
Still
Nothing
walking
happened.
around here selling shit,
Chilling, selling shit, living his life, capitalizing off of a murder that he committed.
selling shit.
Yo, switch. Let's switch gears slightly.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get so.
No.
You asked me what's been on my mind, and that's what's been on my mind. I've been in church listening to my hip hop that like really takes me, you know what I'm saying, to this point. Like it's amazing that I got so many songs that are my church at this given point, but it's like I'm confused, bro, because I'm in that in between space of being an elder that could direct the youth and also listening to my elders, but just being confused as to like, yo, I don't know where I stand on this no more. You know what I'm saying? Because
no, we the same age. I get it. Look, by all means, I wanted this conversation. You was free to say whatever you wanted, and I'm glad you said music is your church, because that was my next transition. The Jay Electronica album, the collab with Jay. Like, first of all, for me, it was a masterpiece.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Oh my God, bro. It was such a masterpiece as a fan of both of them, right? And as an MC, as a black man, as just a listener, as a dancer, as a whatever, right?
I love the video you did too. That was dope, bro. Like, yo, we
Thank you.
It. Yeah.
Salute. Yeah. Shout out to my homegirl, she Street. She is she calls herself Sheopatra Jones. And her and my man Cooley, they love to do these videos that's like really through the art of dance. We just express our anguish and our, you know, frustration with what's going on, but also displaying our strength.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
In unity, you know what I mean?
I don't want you to lose your thought, but you gotta understand that for us, right? Like those of us that practice this art that we call hip hop in our culture. So all the facets of it means something to me, right?
Yeah.
Whether or not that's just I'm like, people think I concentrate on just the music and the MC part, but it's also hip hop as a culture. So it's also like me being a super fan of graffiti writers, right?
Yeah.
Like to the point where I love like where people are taking it with the 3D pieces and all that. But I'm saying that to say the dance part of it is another thing. So I put my B-boys in the same elevation as an Alvin Ailey dancer, because the expression is coming from what we're feeling at the time. So that's what I felt when I saw the video that you did. It's the same thing to me as the pointing of a toe of an Alvin Ailey dancer is like you doing your expression. We need that from every aspect of the culture. Now, and not to break your thought, my fault. Go ahead.
No. We right in the zone. So that album, man, it's so, first of all, it's the content, the lyrics was so right on time for what we're dealing with right now, which is why the Ghost of Soulja Slim was the song we chose to rock to. And then it's just such a well-produced joint. The beat is fire. But and I've heard opinions about the album, right, that I think are completely wrong. I felt like Jay and Electronica and Jay-Z complemented each other so fucking well. So well.
I appreciate that.
So well. Like Jay Electronica to me was like that hidden gem. We know what Hov was gonna do. We already know.
Right.
But even with that, we know, even though we knew what he was gonna do, he had surprises for us. Like I felt like when Jay Electronica got in his bag and we hadn't heard from him for what, 10 years?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But he sounded so.
He's had little spottings here and there, but it's like this is his complete thought. So whether or not you hear him like on a Bullets album or whether or not you hear him on a little, this is his sort of complete thought of like where he is at the given time.
Yeah. And you hear that. You hear him explaining all of that in the album. And for me, it's like he effortlessly, they wasn't going at each other. It's just his flow is just as complex. And I've met him a few times. Jay is a great dude, but I know he's like Bruce Wayne. Like he goes off into his cave, and that's just how he's comfortable. He's good with that.
You got to let the God be the God, man. That's how we say it. You just got to let the God be the God. Yeah.
And that was, to me, that was what was so important about this album, is that even though he disappeared for a minute, that Hov saw fit to say, no, this is the guy I'm going to do a full album with.
Yeah, absolutely.
That speaks to how valuable Jay Electronica is to the culture and to the hip hop society. But then let's get to the meat of it. the songs for me was so flawlessly bananas, even down to, you know, how some of the music didn't even have beats. It was just a sample.
Right. Right.
And they just rocking over the sample, right?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely.
So from all of that, from me saying all of that, that's just me being a super fan of the album. But talk to me about, for one, being in the studio, like watching that creative process go down, and then hearing what you're hearing and how relevant it is to what we're going through today. Like just hearing the energy that they both coming with from two different perspectives.
Right. One is just like the history of me and Jay Elect, right? So this was a thing of like, again, Jay Electronica, I've known him for years and years and years. He came to Baseline, like Just was messing with him early. You know what I mean? This is before Exhibit C. This is before all those things. He would just come and hang out with us, right? And just build. Like we struck a relationship off of information and off of our love for each other before it was even music. And it was a weird day one day where I was just like, this is when like snap music was just like ruling and like, you know what I mean? So I was just talking about like I was pissed off with music at the given time. And Jay Electronica looked me in my face and he was just like, yo, I'm gonna make you love music again. You know what I mean? Like his purpose is not what the normal MC is going after in terms of I want to have a hit record and I want to have these accolades and I want to have, that's not his purpose whatsoever, right?
Right.
You gotta understand him as a human being, and who he is. But in terms of the album, the specific thing was just like watching that energy of him being able to express himself in a way that is relevant right now, but still having those things that he doesn't say, where he's like, yo, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to talk, like, that's not my aim or my goal. His goal, you're watching someone who is on a level, and I don't want to compare. This is me talking. Again, please, internet, do not say that Jay Electronica said this, but it's almost the mind frame of the difference between Bob Marley and regular artists, to where Bob Marley is giving you the spiritual, the romantic, the rude boy, and the religion all on the same song.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's what I get when I talk, you know what I mean, or feel like I'm hearing something from Jay.
I get that too.
Because it's just like he covers all of those bases at the same time. So yeah, besides just him being my friend and like trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to present what you're trying to express? You know what I mean? And that's the challenge at the given time as an engineer, as somebody that's in here with him every day on the grind, is just like watching this man come to a point of, this is what I feel like expressing. I don't know. I hope that answers your question, but that's the best way for me to explain it, is just like when you talk about Ghost of Soulja Slim, when you talk about like all the concepts that they come across on the album and how relevant that is today, it shows you that his mind been on that way before just this one incident.
For sure.
So I don't know. That's the best way to explain it. And besides the behind the scenes, you know, like when we're doing the album, this is us eating together every day. This is us talking about current concepts every day. This is us like going over beats every day. This is us, you know, just him being my brother.
Yeah. So for me, now, and I appreciate you giving that insight too. I met Jay when Angela Yee was managing him for a brief moment back in the day. But to hear, like, I'm a big Pete Rock fan. Pete Rock, Dilla, those two of my top producers ever.
Of course.
So to hear I Got a Love sample in Shiny Suit Theory with no beats, with no drum track on it, and just to hear him riding that shit, or hear both of them, like,
a lot of times too, and I think people don't understand this, is that Jay Electronica produces a lot of the stuff that he rhymes on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know, he produced, he did the first song on it. He did 5 joints on the album, I think. Yeah, if I was to go down and look at it. But Ghost of Soulja Slim is his production.
Wow.
Shiny Suit Theory is his production. This is him as an artist, like looping up something to get an idea out, writing. So then it comes to a certain point where it's like, do I overproduce this thing, or do I just let it be raw and be what it is? And it's also in the time of where we're like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm influenced by what's going on at the time. So
Yeah.
if you have a whole Griselda movement that's going on to where, you know, people think it's weird, but it's like I worship Griselda. Like everything that they come with, I love it. So if it's not them with Alchemist, if it's not them with Derringer, if it's not them with Beat Butcher, if it's not, you know, Benny and Smoke DZA doing a whole album with Pete Rock, and like I'm in tune with all of this. And that being a thing of what like Rock Marciano set for the past 10 years, to where he's the artist that's like, yo, just loop this up, let me rhyme and let me get my point across, and don't overproduce this. I'm into those sort of things. So for me, that's normal. You know what I'm saying? The general public may not be into all of those things, and I understand that, but that's in my psyche of like listening to a Rock Marciano album.
Right. Yeah, somebody commented that Shiny Suit was out before. I'm aware of that, but it's a timeless record. That's what makes it so dope.
But it fell into a perfect position in what we were trying to do with that album, and it felt right in there. A lot of times music is just feeling. It's not a lot of overthinking. We're not at the point where we're trying to like dominate the charts no more. That does not matter to me whatsoever no more. You know what I'm saying? I did that already. I've had that moment. Yep. Right? Where you're in the white hot part of the flame, and like, no, now I get to do whatever I want. I could do whatever I want and just give you me at a given time. I'm not worried. That's not, and I'm not saying that from a selfish standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't disrespect the fact that it takes a lot of work to get to that point. But once you get to that point and you've been beyond that point, it's not so much about like, I'm trying to do the thing for numbers. The numbers they really don't matter to me at this point. That's just a extra thing. I'm literally doing victory laps for the rest of my life.
And that goes to the work that you put in. You know, Hove, whoever has reached their pinnacles and have got the awards, got the accolades, got the numbers. You should get to a point in your life where you're free to create the way you want to create, and preferably to be able to do it out the gate.
Right.
It's like you were saying in the Black album, the documentary. What was the name of that again?
You talk the behind the scenes joint that we did.
The behind the scenes, yeah. When you was telling the young artist in the joint, he was like, man, I wanna do love records, but niggas want the gun shit. And you was like, just be who the fuck you are.
Be the fuck you.
Be the fuck you. That's what it is.
You know what I was trying, and it's weird that you bring that up, but what I was trying to tell him at that particular point, I was like, yo, Hove is Hove because he lived that particular life. But there's also a whole majority of people who haven't lived that particular life, right? Who have lived this other life, who may be close to it, and they want to experience all these other emotions in art. So if you're you'll be surprised at how many people have lived the same life that you lived. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the big thing, is just like be who you are, and people will gravitate, even if it's not you. Because I'm gonna gravitate towards a NWA because they're expressing a certain lifestyle, but I've never been a gang.
I've never lived their life. Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same way as like me praising Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince for what they do. I can like Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and I can like NWA, and they could be on the same tour.
And we did. We loved them both.
Because us as black people are not monolithic. We don't live just one particular way. So it's just like, okay, here's all the different ways in which we live. For as much as there is the hustler in the hood, there's also the kid that's walking around that's like, he's associated with it, but he's not in that. Or when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying? I'm born in 1974. So when I'm a little kid in the 80s, the real deal hustlers was pushing you out the way. Get away from here. It's about to happen, because they cared for you.
That happened to me in Carolina, in Fayetteville. Same exact thing. They knew I was a dancer. And there was times when I would just want to hang out and thought I wanted to see what they was doing. They was like, nigga, keep doing the Hollywood shit. They told me that when I was 16. They was like, nigga, keep doing the Hollywood shit. That's for you.
Right.
But go in the house.
Right.
That saved my life.
Because they know that life for real, so they don't want you to get caught up in it. It's the same Andre 3000 line where he says, the dudes was telling them, get up out of here, show them that we more than slinging raw.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be proud of you. They'll be
Yeah.
super proud. He come from here. He come from us, and he showed them that we more than this. Because my super OGs wasn't doing it for no like rap fame.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They come
Oh
from
yeah.
real situations where it's just like, yo, this is how I gotta pay my bills. This is how I
They,
gotta
they
pay my
surviving.
family.
They surviving. Yeah.
Again, rap, it's bugged out. But I could like, we used to have these little competitions, right? Where we would be like, yo, we're gonna go throughout the whole day and we only gonna speak to each other in rap lyrics. And it's to show you the depth of how much shit has been said in rap. But it's the Andre 3000 line where he's like Brown Beef, you won't believe the shit that niggas attempt because they got other mouths to feed besides their own.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm not out here just for the glamour of it. It's because I have a reason. I have to feed mouths.
Right. And
I'm
for
not
me,
out here to buy a chain and shit. Like that's not my aim.
right.
You know, the real part of it, not the glamorous
Yeah.
part of it. The real part of it. The little kid that's in Newark, New Jersey, you know what I'm saying, on the block where I see him coming out the dope feed house every day. This boy ain't got no belt on. I gotta go to the store to buy this boy a belt.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what's he gonna do? My whole neighborhood is blood. In Newark, my whole neighborhood is blood. That's just real. I'm being real with you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I seen the Warriors. I seen them at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old outside at 6 o'clock in the morning selling nickel bags to people that's going to work, getting approached by older people, being like, yo, you a rightful hustler. Come work with me. He say no, they kill him. I seen this. This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? This ain't the play street. Just the real part of it. Where I'm not a threat. I'm the, yo, that's good. He produced. You know what I'm saying? That's how real they are. They analyzing you as soon as you walk up on the block. They coming to me like, Goo, please get me out. Every hustler that's on my block when I live, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I lived on 10th and Clinton, I lived on Nairn Place. When I lived on 10th and Clinton, every hustler on my block is like, Goo, get me the fuck out of here. Help me. Because I don't want to be out here. But I gotta be. We talking about them, not the fake part of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course. I mean, for me, that's why an artist like Drake resonates so heavy with me. He be talking my talk. I was a nerd that couldn't get the girls back in the day. I know that life. You know what I mean? So to hear an artist that says, look, I'm street adjacent. I know what it is, but I ain't never been that. I've had my heart broken, and I'm writing these love songs to these women, and I'm talking about me and my boys taking trips to wherever. That's the life I'm trying to live. That's why he resonates with me, because he's being exactly who he is.
Yeah, for me, that's Black Thought. Black Thought writes that like exactly what my life would be. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's what Black Thought is to me. In terms of just like I wish I could play a record. Like we do records and it's just like they get overlooked by people, but we don't care. We just keep doing them. When I say we, I'm talking about like me, Ninth, and like our whole thing of what we trying to do with Jamila. And instead of like that old catchphrase of be the change you want to see, that's why we put out what we put out. Is be like, yo, ain't no more boom bap. Okay, well, we gonna just put out a bunch of boom bap records. Yo, ain't no female MCs. Okay, well, we gonna take Rhapsody to a level, you know what I mean? Whatever. We're not gonna complain. We're not begging y'all for nothing. We just gonna be it.
Yeah.
But for me, Black Thought is that. You know what I mean? When he said we put out a record, it was like 2018. We put out a record, right? Because Black Thought was going through this thing where he was just like, I'm gonna do a bunch of records with other producers other than just the Roots. So Knife was one of the people that he chose, and it's just like those records to me resonate with me, even though they don't resonate as big with the general public. You know what I mean?
But you're doing it for y'all. Y'all satisfied with what y'all doing.
And what the big wheels keep turning like Ikes and Animes. You know, like for him to start a record like that. You know what I mean? The big wheel keep turning like Ikes and Animes. right? That's Big Wheels Keep On
Keep on
Turning.
Turning,
That's
yeah.
Ike and Tina Turner,
Proud
right?
Mary.
Right. The Big Wheel Keep Turning like Ice and Animes. The church dinner the church hustling dinners every Saturday. Pull over, let me grab a plate. I tend to gravitate towards our fish dinners from a styrofoam platter taste. My granddaddy hustled plaid Donny Hathaway. No, my granddaddy sported plaid Donny Hathaways. Right? The bell bottoms with the plaid joints.
The plaid
right?
shit.
So you gotta understand that when I'm listening to this is my religion. This is like me understanding who Tariq is. And like you gotta understand, like Tariq's father was killed when he was 1 year old. He's street for real. His mother died when he was in high school. Not to give away Tariq business, but this is the mind state of the MC who is constructing this. And he's starting a verse that's saying, you know what I'm saying, the big wheels keep turning. So today, when I was going through this thing, when he starts the first verse with that, I'm like, yo, you know what? The world keep going. No matter what, we gotta keep, because in my spirit of being like, yo, this shit is too heavy on me.
Yeah.
He brings me back to that point of like, yo, the world keep turning. And then he hit the line where he's like, yo, the church is hustling dinners every Saturdays. Pull over, let me grab a plate.
Let me grab a plate.
This is a Muslim man pulling over
to a Christian church.
saying, let me grab the fish.
Right.
I tend to gravitate towards our fish dinner with the styrofoam platter taste. We all know that.
We know that taste, right? Especially if they microwave it. You're gonna be tasting some of the styrofoam. Yeah.
My granddaddy sported plaid Donny Hathaways, right? So now get into the realism of why this man ain't talking to his father or his mother. He talking to his grandfather. Because his father died, his mother, that one line is giving you every story.
Everything.
Of the kid that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother had to hold it down. She raised me. My mom raised me. She was the one who held it down. She the one that's cleaning the toilets, that's providing the food, so that because my father ain't there, my mother ain't there. You know, my granddaddy sported plaid Donny Hathaways. I used to ask him about what path to take. He used to laugh and say, no man is an island, but I'm a castaway.
Thought.
When he hit that, it's like those, he would hit the things that's just like, yo, I'm gonna play this joint. Fuck it. Like, this is grant me this. And I'm just like, yo, this is for the people, right?
Absolutely.
I hope y'all hear this. Plus the beat is ridiculous. Knife put his foot in this beat. Oh my God.
That's my guy.
But I'm talking about the lyrics and why this
yeah,
I mean, appeals to me. Can you hear it?
Yo, the big world keep turning like ice and anime. The church kitchen hustling dinners every Saturday. Pull over, let me grab a plate. I tend to gravitate towards our fish dinners from a styrofoam platter taste. My granddaddy sported plaid Donny Hathaways. Hustling for everything we had till he passed away.
Hustling for everything he
had
till he passed away. This man is just working hard to provide for his family.
When I would ask him about what path to take, he used to laugh and say, no man is an island, but I'm a castaway. Casualties, I seen him like the French Foreign Legion.
Casualties, I seen him like the French Foreign Legion. Think about that for a second. A child in Philadelphia that has seen as much murder as the French Foreign Legion. That's not right. But this is where we come from. This is what makes us. On the streets, they used to carry out bizarre procedures in jean jackets and Jabbar Adidas, right? The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
The Kareem joint.
Jabbar. So he's grounding it into our time period, but this is what makes me. This is what I come from.
Bizarre procedures in jean jackets and Jabbar Adidas. Back when local R&B was just as soulful as orthopedics.
Back when local R&B was just as soulful as orthopedics. So the orthopedic shoe, but you gotta also remember that this is Black thought coming from Philadelphia. So Philadelphia International, Kenny Gamble and Huff, and all the history of what they've done. He's putting you in that mindset of what Kenny Gamble and Huff did. He's telling you this is what's playing. And it's also a weird thing that a couple years ago, Jazzy Jeff had this, he has this retreat where we go
Yeah.
to, and Kenny Gamble came there, and what I was trying to tell him was that you, as a black man, the songs that you are writing creates the zeitgeist for me as a young kid as to what I'm thinking a black man should be. Meaning back at that time in the 70s, not only was this strong black men, but they was talking to black women about love, but not from a weak standpoint. Right?
Right.
We lost some of that. We lost some of that in who we are about our songs talking to our women from a strong black man, non-simping standpoint.
Yeah.
So all of that is in that lyric. Back when local R&B was just as soulful as orthopedics.
Me and my man twisting up some reefer and wishing we the wrong of town. Hitman in the likes of Sam Christian.
Me and my man twisting up some reefer and wishing we knew all the town hitmen in the likes of Sam Christian. So for those that don't know, this is, I'm sorry to get into the history lesson on here, right? But this is for us that is in that Philadelphia, Delaware area. I'm from Delaware. So Sam Christian is who founded the Black Mafia in Philadelphia. Then you have the Junior Black Mafia, which follows that. But this is a young kid twisting up reefer with his friends saying, wishing I wish I knew who the power was. I know their names, but I don't know them. This is Tariq as a young kid saying, I wish I knew Sam Christian.
Right.
And if you do your Google search, I'm not going to break all that down and who the Black Mafia was.
I get it.
That, but do your Google search on Sam Christian. But I'm telling you why this verse is church for me, because it's so personal to me in terms of like, this is what I grew up in. For those of us that remember when they dropped the bomb on Move, you know what I'm saying? On Osage Avenue. That was on the news. That was us. We grew up in this thing. This is why we so frustrated at this given time in history. This is 2 years old and telling you who we are.
On the edge of existence, man, listen, understand, respect and fear was an all-American ambition.
He said, on the edge of existence, man, listen, understand, respect and fear was an all-American ambition. You telling me to be peaceful, but respect and fear is what I see people striving with in America. As a kid, this is a child talking. Don't talk to me about I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to. I see what the result is of you only move off of who you respect and fear. That's an all-American ambition. Y'all been killing motherfuckers for a long time. And you expect me to act different than what you show. This is a child telling you I'm watching what you're doing.
Right. This is
badass.
And here's the most powerful line for me. I'll take it. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm breaking up the verse and I'm cutting it off and all that. Like,
nah. This is perfect.
I ain't expect to get into this.
Nah, this is perfect. Look,
I'm giving you my mind.
This is why I wanted to have this conversation with you. I didn't know where it was gonna go. I didn't Wikipedia you. I was like, nigga, let's have a conversation.
This is my church. This is my
absolutely.
church.
Shout out
to existence, man, listen, understand, respect and fear was an all-American ambition for badass kids in the laundromat folding the load, and lo and behold, a whole nother fork in the road.
He said for badass kids in a laundromat folding a load,
holding the clothes.
And lo and behold, a whole nother fork in the road. So analyze that. The bad kid that's in the laundromat folding the laundry, but guess what? You already see that he bad. You see that trait in him. But he's still with his mother inside of the laundromat folding the load, right? This is the last moment where his mother got control over him.
And moms knew that.
It's a
moms
little badass kid in that laundromat that's disrespecting, running around. We all seen this. Yeah. This is the last moment where his mother got control over him. For badass kids in the laundromat folding the load, but lo and behold, a whole nother fork in the road. Where's he going to go when he walks outside? This is the whole 4th season of The Wire. And I know people seen me break down The Wire before, but this is the whole reason for the 4th season of The Wire. When they come on that season of The Wire and the older cop is talking to the guy that's trying to do the research, and they go to the high school and they try to pull a kid out, and they like, yo, by high school, they 2 seasoned. They already killers by the time they in high school. They deep in the game. You got to grab them in junior high school. Because that's the moment, that's the fork in the road where he could go this way or he could go this way.
And mom is always hoping if I keep your ass near me, whatever I'm doing, you're gonna do these dishes, you're gonna fold this laundry, take the goddamn trash out, because you're gonna learn some structure and discipline in my house. Because that's the only thing that's gonna keep you out them fucking streets. Moms know this, or they hope this.
This is
But
our
that's their last ditch
situation.
effort.
This is our situation. This is what we understand. This is in our music. I'm trying to exemplify that this is in music. It's not just rap. We're not just rapping just to be rapping.
Yeah, just to be rhyming words.
Yeah,
No.
this is, listen to what this man is saying.
My wish for them is that the truth is eventually told.
My wish for them is that the truth is eventually told.
Out on the corner where
Whatever you could sell is sold. Think of that environment. You take that badass kid who's in there with his mother, drugs, who can do whatever, right? And I'm trying to give him the truth, but he's on a corner with whatever you could sell.
Whatever you could sell is sold. Whether that's lies,
that's t-shirts, socks,
women's bodies,
women,
incense,
to drugs, to whatever it is. He's on that corner where everybody's taking advantage of that situation, that wherever you throw a 12-year-old kid into that situation. This is church.
whatever you could sell is sold. I heard murder ran this vast deserted land since back when Burning Man was blacks in Birmingham.
I heard murder ran this vast deserted land since blacks in Birmingham. Since Burning Man was blacks in
Birmingham.
He's giving you the history of who we are. It's been going on ever since then. Since back in Birmingham, it's been that situation has been going on ever since then.
Before the presidential election diversion.
Before this presidential election diversion scam. Is that now 2 years ago? Before this presidential election diversion scam, they diverting you by putting this, you worried about this idiot. Look at the power behind the power. This man he's an idiot. Look at what's happening, the power behind the power.
Matter of fact, before they clapped Franz Ferdinand, you know who Franz Ferdinand is? That's the murder that started World War I. When they clap, I love this because everybody can go through the Googles later. I don't claim to be the most wise or whatever, but if you do the history on Franz Ferdinand, that particular assassination is what started World War I. So I'm telling you that before all of these situations, they've been doing this to us. Even before then. That's what this man, this is why Tariq speaks to me. Oh, that next line is so important. Hold on, go back. Again, audience, forgive me. This is just me in church. This is Birmingham before the presidential election diversion scam. Matter of fact, before they clapped Franz Ferdinand, you gossip on Jay and Beyonce and Kim and Kanye. But keep rising to the top, what my mind say. You gossip on Jay and Beyonce and Kim and Kanye. But keep rising to the top is what my mind say. So I get it. Y'all want to talk about bullshit every day. Whatever. I get it. That's what you got. But keep rising to the top is what my mind say. Oh my God. This is why I love Reek. Picture my daughter drinking water with a sign, say for color girl. I ain't talking Intozaki Shanye. Oh. Picture my daughter drinking water with a sign, say for color girls. I ain't talking Intozaki Shanye. And if all of y'all don't know what that means, there's a specific book that my mother, all of her friends had that is a book for colored women. It says for colored women who have considered suicide. Do you know how prevalent that book was in my household, in my mother's household in the 80s? For colored women who have considered suicide. Intozaki Shanye, Google it. That's why I love it. But if you get into that whole, so he's saying, picture my daughter drinking water with a sign say for color girls. Because we talk all this bullshit about like, yo, if I was in slavery time, they wouldn't have had me. I would have been busting niggas. If I was doing it, my grandfather was born in 1919, bro, in North Carolina. Where you could get fucking killed for looking at a white woman. My grandfather was born in 1919. You can get killed. That book specifically is talking to our women. If a title of a book has to say for colored girls who've considered suicide, just think for a second of what that's saying when he's making these references. Like, this ain't light shit.
This is us that know. He's communicating with us that know.
Who said it's cynical? I was a king in general, rich in every resource, precious metal and mineral.
Who said it's cynical? I was a king in general, rich with every resource, precious gem and mineral.
Before the devil entered the land of the plentiful.
Before the devil entered the land of the plentiful with that Jamaican funk, and gotta get it into who? So it's it's rapping. So it's like, for those, again, all the audience don't know. So there's a song called Jamaica Funk, right? That goes, Jamaica
Tom
Funk.
Brown.
That's what it is. Gotta get it into you,
Tom
right?
Brown.
So he's saying before the devil entered the land of the plentiful with that Jamaican funk, whether or not in our era that's crack cocaine, whether or not you go all the way back, that slavery is that Jamaica funk. Gotta get it into who? For generations. Listen to what he's saying. Oh my God, this is church.
Every resource, precious metal and mineral. Before the devil entered the land of the plentiful with that Jamaican funk. Gotta get it in the hoop for generations. Under God, indivisible, sight more patient.
Under God, indivisible. Meaning they pledge allegiance to this shit.
Allegiance to this shit.
Killing you, I'm pledging allegiance to killing you.
I mean,
Think about that for a second. Under God, individual.
That's why Kaepernick is kneeling. That was the purpose. The flag don't represent justice, freedom, equality. They're standing at every game pledging allegiance to this same flag that's killing George Floyd in the
Bruh, they hear these
street.
songs we put out and they think it's just rapping. At the same time that it's excellent MCing and it's excellent rapping and it's what I can present to you as when I say like, yo, this is elite MCing. There is a specific message that is being portrayed in this, right? That and when I'm saying as me coming from the area that I come from and who Black Thought is and what he represents, this is why this thing touches me so much. So it's me trying to break down like why he would present this as a, and remember, I'm stopping it. So this is just going live.
Of course.
So some people might miss it, but this is what we catch. This is slaves beating drums. Where you might not understand what we talk about, but we understand.
We know what the language is. There's metaphors and bars and references in here that you'll never catch because we know it.
And you got to be from our thing to understand it.
Make it funk, gotta get it in the hoop for generations. Under God, indivisible, psych war patience.
He said, under God, individual, psych war patience.
Psych war patience.
But because you've done that, you've driven me crazy. This is all the things that we see where people are posting all of our greats and saying, yo, to actually live in America and to be a Black person is to be under constant pressure. You've created a psych war patient. You driving me the fuck crazy because I gotta have this conversation with my son when I'm supposed to be talking to him about physics and math and whatever he's going through. And I'm telling him how to protect himself from the yo, if they pull you over, do whatever they say. And I'll come get you later. That's crazy because you in the right. But you created this.
It's insanity.
It's insanity.
Vampires in an interview become institutionalized.
He said vampires in an interview. Walking Dead. Vampires in an interview become institutionalized. What a nigga do. But what we had to do to survive, none of them could do.
What a nigga do, but what we had to do to survive, none of them could do. Who the technical culprit? I don't mess with no voltage. I'm electrical voltage, not the regular dosage. Who the technical culprit? I'm electrical voltage, not the regular dosage. Too obsessive compulsive.
Too obsessive compulsive.
Fucking explosive. Mixed message in a bottle I left with the postman.
A mixed message in a bottle I left with the postman. He's telling you, I'm leaving a message in a bottle. I'm leaving you these messages in the song that I left with the postman. It's going to arrive to you whenever it arrives.
Whenever it's going to get there.
But I left a message for you.
I'm not arachnophobia, black petroleum.
I'm not arachnophobia, black petroleum.
Ceremoniously holy when at the podium.
Ceremoniously holy when I'm at the podium. Every time I get up to speak, I'm saying something from a ceremoniously holy perspective. I'm not wasting your time.
Every concert, he's a pastor, is what he's saying. I'm delivering a spiritual message. It's a sermon.
Every time.
Every
I'm
single
saying
time.
something.
Words are not
Even
frivolous.
though it's hotter than weapons grade plutonium, the people try to check for the return of the Ichiban.
Oh, even though it's hotter than weapon grades plutonium, the people trying to check for the return of the Ichiban. Ichiban in Japanese means the one. Even though the times is still this bad, we still waiting for the return of the one.
Of the one.
Who's gonna save us, right? Now, here's where it gets into a real, like, I almost cry because of what he says next. And this is where it really comes into the, like, these next couple of lines is powerful. Now, remember what he said. Even because of the temperature, because it's so hot, because people are dying all the time, because my neighborhood is in a dismay, people trying to check for the return of the Ichiban, Obi-Wan, universe, you owe me one solid. My homie Gonzalez, he only know gun violence. Think about what he's saying. I'm gonna play this line, but he's calling himself Obi-Wan Kenobi. So he's immaculate wordplay off of saying Ichiban, which means one, but then he's calling himself Obi-Wan, which is just like immaculate wordplay, right? But the concept of what he's doing, he's calling himself Obi-Wan Kenobi. And not to get into my Star Trek shit, people see me do my Star Trek shit before, but realize who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. He is the person who trains the one. He's the person who trains the guy that's supposed to bring balance back to the Force.
So he's putting himself in the John the Baptist seat.
But watch this. He's saying, Obi-Wan, universe, you owe me one solid. I've done everything, universe, God, I've done everything you've asked me. I've been a righteous man. I've done everything you asked me. I followed all the rules, and I'm not asking for shit for myself. He's talking to God. He's talking to the universe, and he whatever you call God, he's talking to the universe, and he's saying, universe, because I've done everything right, you owe me this solid. You owe me this favor. And what's the favor that he asked? Watch out for my homie Gonzalez. Why? Because he only knows gun violence. As an OG on the court, like, that's the prayer. That's our prayer. For those of us that have a secure life, that have parents that raise us, but are in the neighborhood and see this child on the corner, you be like, yo, fuck me. Just take care of him. Please, like, please. I already got enough. Take care of him. So that's what he's saying. Universe, you owe me one solid. My homie Gonzalez only know gun violence on the corner where they probably on a 21 Savage. Young Caesar Chavez, Division 1. He calls them Young Caesar Chavez, which means they the best fighters.
The best fighter.
The best fight. Listen to this lyric.
Obi-Wan, universe, you owe me one solid. My homie Gonzalez, only know Gonzalez on the corner where they probably on a 21 Savage, catch 2 in your cabbage, Young Caesar Chavez.
He said, catch 2 in your cabbage, Young Caesar Chavez, Division 1. Right? That's the reality of the situation. If he fuck up, this is his result. He gonna get killed. Division 1. But then he brings us back. This is why it's church. Then he brings us back. Division 1. Yo, wait a minute. Where do we get our rhythm from? What are you made of? Where do you come from? What's your history? What have they been? You've been through some shit. Your people been through some shit before, and you've come out of it. That's where he brings you back. Wait a minute, where we get our rhythm from? Continuum, still swinging like a pendulum. Time still going on. And guess what? You still survive it. And look back to them people that's been through crossing the Atlantic on boats. Them people that's been through hoses being put on them. Them people that's been through dogs being put on them. Them people that's been through the Tuskegee experiment where they just looked at you as a guinea pig and just put shit up in you. You've been through all that. In his dismay of thinking about how bleak it is for the block, he goes back to the continuum for strength. Listen,
and it goes back to the beginning.
Yeah.
The big wheels keep turning like animes. It always come back to that. Shout out to Fab Five Freddy. I saw him just come in.
Always.
Bitch, catch you in your comments, young, she's a Chavez, Division 1. Yo, women, where we get our rhythm from? Continuum, still swinging like a pendulum. Here the women come, sing.
Now here the women come. The boy done been through all this, and we ain't even throw in the fact that now the black. Now here the women come. Think about all the dumb shit that dudes do to impress women on the block.
That's the number one source.
In terms of all of these things that I just set up and all these roadblocks that he got, now how much of his behavior is going to be changed because he drunk and he high, he ain't trying to impress this girl. Now here the women come singing like Sarah Vaughan. Oh, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Black Thought not regular, yo. He's not regular.
The Chavez, Division 1. Yo, women, where we get our rhythm from? Continuum, still swinging like a pendulum. Here the women come singing like Sarah Vaughan. Heard ninth up in a house from North Carolina. Ain't no mannequin challenge, but you're paralyzed.
It ain't no mannequin challenge, but you're paralyzed. That's us in our discussion today. At the same time that I got Malcolm in this ear and Martin in this ear, I don't know which way to move. I'm tired of posting shit.
We stuck.
I'm tired of talking about
stuck.
it. I want to move, and I'm paralyzed because I don't know which way to move. That's us in our struggle today.
And it ain't no mannequin challenge. So he tying in social media phenomena.
This ain't y'all little bullshit that y'all be like, yo, this ain't about